At last, I have reached the tallest peak in all the world, where the wisest person lives. Finally, I'll get the answers I seek.
Welcome. I am the wisest person in the world. Ask me your question.
What is my purpose in life? What should I be doing to achieve pure happiness?
You must stream Game Master Monday.
Come again.
Game Master Monday, the bi-weekly podcast that plays a new one-shot in a new system in a new setting with a new cast every episode. Listening to their funny jokes and wild stories is the only path to happiness, my child.
Sick. I'm going to go home and binge the whole thing right now.
What a nice kid. Oh dear, he fell off the mountain. Now they'll never know how good Game Master Monday.
Welcome to Damsels in Dicestress, where a bunch of queer Regency girls play Regency Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
The Regency
Regency.
girls themselves are playing D&D.
I thought he
Yeah.
was going to say it the other way around.
Yeah, well, we could do
The
that.
queer Regency girls are playing
Modern
us.
day. Bunch of queer Regency girls are cosplaying 21st century life, and let me tell you, it's not going well.
Oh, look, we're back.
Hello.
Yes. Introduce yourselves. I did it last time. It'd get boring if I just keep doing it.
Get boring.
It get boring. I am Maijai Hibbard and I play Taya Bronton.
I am Maijai Hibbert, and I play Talia Bronton. That was mean.
I'm Taya Campbellover and I play Rosalind Penhallow.
I'm Taya Campbellow, and I play Rosalind Penhallow.
I'm going to kill all of his NPCs.
That is true. That's canon.
Yeah. I'm Morne Trimmer and I play Agatha Pentecost.
Very good.
Yay! Who do you think is William's favourite?
I am Kitty Kearns and I play Marianne Calvert.
And he won't make fun of the guest because guest.
Yeah.
Are you a guest at this point?
You.
Are you still a guest?
like it still
It's
counts
been
as
like 3 months.
It still counts as being a guest, I think.
It is.
I thought she'd never leave.
Wow. Fuck him.
Who was that?
The Viscount. That's what he said
Yeah.
about Marianne in the first time you met her.
Morning signs were there.
Yeah.
We've got very in-character drinks, like fruity drink, black coffee,
Well, I'm.
black tea.
Fun fact. I'm drinking strawberry and raspberry tea because Rosalind's favourite food is strawberries.
Aww.
Oh, I don't have
It's a good
another
place
fun
to have.
fact.
Yeah, I didn't plan to. I just reminded myself of that.
Cool. Intro. And we're back.
That's what brought us back in.
Last week, we left you all going to bed. Let's continue.
Did we?
No.
We weren't going to.
Well, not literally. You weren't tucking yourselves in, but you know, it was
The
bedtime.
evening was winding
You'd
down.
been told multiple times to get some rest.
Yeah.
Look at his little baby cup.
Shout out to Sonia and Al for the cup.
Yeah. They're like, oh my god, he's giving it cooties.
Okay. So
So you are with Thomas in the room. You're still with Harold.
We are, unless someone takes over looking after him.
Okay. You just called Jonathan disgusting.
yeah, I walked out.
I'm sat in a training room.
What are you doing?
I think I would have sat with you to make sure that Thomas was okay after collapsing.
Yeah.
And I think, I would have left you to spend some time with your boyfriend and unconscious father.
Nice family hangout.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna. She's thinking about stuff, but she's not doing it. So she's just gonna get up and leave the training room and go to our bedroom.
Funny, that's where I'm heading. We have a slight change in the plan.
Oh,
Potentially. Sort of. Maybe.
right.
I'm just going to show the hat to you. So, if you sit with it for an hour, apparently, according to Lucas, you can make yourself look like somebody different.
Right. What? Rosalind wasn't there when Harold did that.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. So the old woman that was shooting the things
Yes.
was Harold
Yes.
because of this hat.
Oh, right. And,
Well, this is where it starts to become...
I'll have gone and sat on the end of our bed, by the way, just when I walked in.
Okay, I'll sit there too.
Yeah.
This is where Jonathan and I have differing opinions of what's more important and what might help. My suggestion originally was that you use the hat to look like somebody else so that you already have some sort of sway just by walking in. But then he said that we were going to go and visit her beforehand and in the day and then break her out in the evening. So I said we should simply give her the hat so that she can walk out looking like somebody else like Gilbert did. But then he thinks the hat's more important than her life. So I told him he was disgusting and I walked out.
But if we had to pay a preliminary visit in the daytime, then nothing shall happen to the hat and we shall have it back when she has left.
Quite. I could suggest that we put it to the vote and then watch him lose.
I suppose. I mean, that does seem the most fair way to do things when... Well, why should he have more say than you?
Well, exactly.
I know that he's done it before, but it was a great deal easier for them than it will be for us, so...
Yes. He suggested that if you were to use it, that you look like Madam.
Oh. I suppose...
I don't know how wise that would be.
Well, I suppose she is always saying that she is very well respected and well connected with all sorts of people, but...
I wouldn't want people looking to her when...
Quite.
We can talk to the others and see what everybody thinks, maybe in the morning or something. There's no harm in you spending time with it now, so that if that ends up being the case, or just before we leave, so that if that ends up being the case, then at least you can use it.
Right. I will do that if that is what everyone agrees is best, but I do not think it wise to put me in charge of another magical item. I should hate for...
Agatha and Marianne agreed with me.
right.
It wasn't your fault. Hey. It wasn't. That was always his plan.
Yes, but it doesn't matter. I'll do it if that is what everyone votes on. We should try and get some rest. Wait, are you? I just noticed that you're gunky.
So, we were talking about the hat in front of Thomas,
Right.
and he sort of didn't seem very interested at all. So I asked him why he wasn't interested, and he said that he trusted Agatha, but he didn't believe her. And I asked what it would take for him to believe us.
Goodness.
I hope he's all right.
He believes us now, I suppose.
Well, he fainted, so I'm not entirely sure.
Goodness, I hope he's all right.
I'm sure he's...
Yes, well,
We had an arm wrestle.
and the usual result, I expect.
Well, it depends on who you ask. I may have let him win the second one. I don't think he was very happy about it.
Well, we should try and get some rest, Jonathan said.
Are you all right?
Not really. When the plan was first put out, I had not thought that I would be quite so necessary as everyone seems to think I am.
You were always necessary.
Yes. But
I don't mean to try and force importance onto you. I
understand.
I just don't think...
I did that myself, and now I must deal with the repercussions and handle it as best I can for the good of everyone.
Maybe it'll be good for you.
I just want it to be done. I just want to get in and out and save this woman and cause as little trouble as possible.
And we will do our very best.
Yes.
And if it all falls apart, we blame Jonathan for not having a decent plan. Perhaps we should make him wear the hat and leave him in the cell instead. Then they won't realise that she's missing.
Talia must wear off eventually, and we can't do without Jonathan, not really. I know that.
Would be fun though. Perhaps we do something fun afterwards.
Like what?
I'm not sure.
Perhaps.
We can decide after. I don't like that we're not going to be together.
Yes. It is rather unsettling, but
It is probably wise though.
yes. I think we ought to just go to bed and we shall discuss it further tomorrow with everybody and we can decide firmly on the best course of action. And I will go over everything that I learned and we shall try our best.
Is it limitless?
My skills, no. Lucas says that some spells that are more powerful require you to rest afterwards to be able to do them again. But some of them are. It is just more powerful ones that are not.
So if we rest, then you can't practice tomorrow, because what if you need them?
Right. That's true.
Only because I think I can only do that once a day.
Right. Well,
So
I suppose I won't go to bed now then.
I think I need to wash.
Yes. I'll go and I suppose I'll meet you back here when I'm done.
Do you want any help?
No, it's all right.
Right, I'll go wash.
I'll go back to the same training room I was just in.
Cool.
Take a bath, and then once I'm done,
Cool. So as you're left there sitting alone with watching this old man, his shallow breathing up and down rhythmically every few moments, you sort of look over at his lips and you see they're sort of quivering a little, and he's sort of taking deeper breaths, and he's like, I'm sorry. And he sort of shifts in his sleep a little.
You're right.
No point writing that note down. You weren't there?
Yeah, I know, but I've got a list of all the things Harold said.
once I'm done with my bath, I get back dressed and then come back to the room.
Mm-hmm. And at some point, Albert comes back again. Mm-hmm. He's just been out.
Okay.
Out about town. Doing what Albert does.
Okay.
Information gathering.
Does he though?
He was at the Velvet Masquerade.
Your father spoke again.
He did?
He said, I'm sorry.
That's all.
That's all. It was quite quiet, but it is perhaps a good sign that, again, that is different words. It's not as though he's just repeating the same thing, and it shows a greater sign of conscious awareness if there's multiple thoughts in his head.
Yes. Thank you. I'm going to bed now.
Yes, I believe it would be best to leave the caring duties with your brother so we can rest before... Oh yes, you aren't aware we are going to Newgate tomorrow.
Okay. I'll catch up with Jonathan and get the download. But yes, if you girls need the download, yeah. If you girls need, people said the download back then. If you girls need rest, yes, just go. I'll be fine here. I'll get what rest I can later.
Thank you.
I'll go to mine and Thomas's room then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not particularly happy about being referred to as a girl.
Yeah, this is a married woman.
Adult woman, please.
Cool. Albert's just used to these three.
Mm-hmm.
So I, in my training room, will go over basically everything I've been taught as much as I can. And I think it is harder to get to the place of stillness that Lucas talked about. But then I think she kind of gets into a rhythm and she's like shooting her like combative spells like at the walls and furniture. And then I think actually that probably turns into a bit of a breakdown.
Yeah, as you're doing that, as you are shooting out these bolts of energy against the wall, practicing, as one of these bolts sort of conjures within your sort of palm and shoots out, the eyeball sort of flashes up in front of you and is gone again. And it kind of brings with it this sort of sharp feeling of pain and like needles in your brain, but then it's gone.
So that kind of throws her for a moment, and she sort of stops while there's like soot and dust, I imagine, kind of settling. And I think she's piecing together what that might mean. And she's gonna kneel down on the floor and realise that I can't put my hands together in prayer anymore, so I'll just put them in my lap. I know this probably isn't how this works for you, and I've no idea how it does, but if there's any way that we're still connected, I'm sorry, but and I hope that you were able to stop it with him. And she's going to think about the flame, and she's trying really hard to see the eye again.
Roll a d20.
It's 11. It's nothing. I'm sorry. I know you probably can't hear me or see me. I don't know how gods work. Everything I thought was lies, and no one really explained this to me, but I am sorry. You said I was different and that I wasn't like the others, and you were right, and I am not like them, and I wasn't supposed to have this with you, and I'm sorry, but for what it's worth, I believe in you. And it's not that I didn't believe in the God I was taught, it's just that Papa was God to me, and now I don't think that God will ever forgive me, and maybe if I can, I know it wasn't meant for me, and I should leave it alone now, because I proved I couldn't handle it, but if I can try and help you, I will, and I'm still here.
Roll another d20.
16. I'll just sit in silence for a bit, until I've recovered and got my breath back, and then I will sit some more, and then I will go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
While I was waiting for her to come back, I was going over Amelia's notebook, as ever, trying to figure out what it all means.
Cool. Eventually you'll get some sleep then.
Mm-hmm.
The next day comes around, which you're reminded of by the ticking of a clock.
Do we...
There are no windows here.
Well then.
Can we get hit points back?
Sure. You all sleep okay.
What do we roll?
Roll a 1d6.
Oh, crazy.
Not you, you can roll 1d4.
Rude. 2.
Hey, you're only 5 off.
That's true, but I just rolled a 1, so... And I will need you to change it, because my thing
You're
is
really
working.
only going to let me have 3 hit points?
I just got 1.
Okay.
I
got
that's
2.
Beautiful.
I'm 20 points away from being at full hit points.
So boo.
I got
Do you know what's really funny though?
6.
We are on the same hit points.
Oh.
What was that? Put you on 29.
Yeah, 29 for me. Nice.
I'm on 17.
You will sleep in various fitful states, but good enough. The morning comes around. There's no sign of Jonathan as you are going about your morning routines. He comes back and I'll tell you what, Albert's there. So Albert says, "Oh yes, He's gone out to make some arrangements. he's filled me in on everything. I must say this is a very brave choice you're all making. No. I have to say, I'm proud of you all. I never imagined for a moment that the four of us would find ourselves standing here in this place of all places. Yet here we are, and whatever trials that we face, well, we simply must succeed at them. We literally must, so. No pressure. Fate of the world.
What room are we in right now?
Which room do you want to be in? I really don't care.
Well, I want Albert to be with Harold.
Okay, then you've all gone in to see Harold together. All of you, let's go check on Harold.
Everybody keeps talking about how we just need to pay them.
Generally, they have lists of various charges for various activities.
So how much would it take for them to just turn a blind eye?
Well, that's more in the realms of bribery rather than
Yeah.
fees.
Right, but everybody's saying that all they care about is lining their pocket.
It is true, but with a missing person, often that will come down on them.
Jonathan said that they simply had to pay a fee.
There's not a fee for absconding with a prisoner. There's a fee for bringing food, for bringing...
Right, Jonathan said that the people in charge would have to pay a fee if they lost a person.
Yes.
So if we cover the fine...
If we pay them enough to cover the fine, that would really come down to the keeper.
And if
Nasty
we were to
fellow.
go the bribery route,
How much would it, roughly, would you consider that they would ask for?
Oh, it's certainly as much as we have, that's fine.
so why are we not simply doing that?
It seems a lot safer.
We could certainly have a discussion with the man, I suppose, and see if he's open to a little bribery.
But of course then
That-
the issue is if it does not work, they know that is what we...
Well, he was talking about
Risk of-
talking to people but not telling them what you want, and then they tell you what... I don't know. There was something about not asking people what you actually want to know, but they'll tell you anyway.
Yes.
So can't we do that?
Well, yes, if we're going to broach the subject of bribing the keeper, we would do it very surreptitiously with him and just sort of...
So he wouldn't know that we're talking about bribing him?
Not if we do it carefully,
Right.
until we establish whether he's open to it, and if it feels like he's not, then we back off the conversation.
Yes.
And is that something you feel you would be able to do? You've said that you are good with maths, of gathering intelligence and speaking to people.
I'm more of a gathering of physical intelligence than intellectual intelligence. I heard that. I heard how it sounded. That's not what I meant.
Do you think you could do it?
I do not know. I could certainly try, but I would worry if something were to go wrong and I had let slip too much or not enough. Then I've never really done it on such a scale before. I can make men talk about themselves. I can make them talk about all sorts of things, but I'm not sure if I could make them open to receiving a bribe to release a prisoner.
Let me... we don't have much time. I was going to ask around and see if anybody knew if this was something he was open to. I mean, most men are, but
You could.
not all.
Okay.
Some can be zealots. I am led to believe that there's a ship leaving in the morning, and who knows who will be on it.
For Australia?
Yes. They've been leaving quite regularly recently.
Yes, that is... She has not yet been tried. Typically it takes months, but considering the circumstances and who devised to put her in there, they may have expedited certain things.
So they can be paid.
But if they have already received a bribe to put her on a ship, we would have to
Bribe more.
bribe more than they did to get her off.
Well, then it will come down to who they're more afraid of. But yes, they have been putting a number of people on without trial recently.
Goodness.
It simply looks good for its politics.
They do not wish to have so many urchins within the prisons and upon the streets. That is the whole reason behind transportation.
And there's less bodies to bury. You just chuck them out at sea. Yes. Well, we must do something, so we can't simply sit here.
In this case, perhaps it would be better if I were to look like somebody that they would be afraid of.
Who did you have in mind?
I don't know.
You'd have to be quite a small somebody that they would be afraid of.
Yes, that's true. I'm afraid most men are quite beyond my stature. Unless there's a woman they would be afraid of. Perhaps somebody very high-ranking or very rich.
I mean, she's neither of those things, but, well, I suppose she's kind of rich.
Are you thinking about who?
Not to well, maybe to impersonate. No, that would tarnish her reputation.
What?
Well, I do know a woman who is quite involved in the prison at Newgate and sort of, she's quite a bit of a passion project for her. She's been ruffling quite a few feathers. Mrs. Fry, Elizabeth Fry, you probably haven't heard of her, you?
Yes, I believe I've heard. She's a Quaker, I believe.
Yes, one of the Quakers, but she's got quite the passion for prison reform, especially for women, and she's...
I believe I've heard some of the women prisoners speaking of her visits.
Ruffled a number of feathers.
So it would quite ruin her cause to have been known to bribe a
Oh,
guard.
absolutely, yes, but if we throw bribery out the window, certainly she's someone we could have a conversation with. She has a lot of contacts.
Right, to involve her, not to be disguised.
No, yes, to involve her. Disguising that would certainly get us an interview, but yes, should it then get out that she simply... No, I would not like to tarnish. She's a very...
Yes, her cause
She's a good woman.
not
Yes.
bear such a thing.
And what do you think she might be ought to do to help?
Well, certainly she could get us an audience with the keeper.
Right.
Certainly she has a relationship with him. She could certainly inform us as to his disposition.
Well, that sounds very useful.
If we are armed with knowledge, we can... Yes. Jonathan knows her better than I do, so I will, speak to him. Through Colin. Well, for your father, really. She was, fascinating, actually. She's the only woman to ever appear in Parliament to talk to one of the committees. Yes.
What's Colin got to do with it?
Oh, sorry, did I say Colin? No, I meant your father. I was just thinking of Colin for some reason.
Weird.
He is weird, isn't he?
That one's
It's
not
going to be
canon.
called Colin. Don't forget about that.
Yes. Yes, we could speak with her.
Could she know who we are, or would we have to pretend to be somebody different?
I think the three of us ought to pretend to be somebody different regardless.
Yes.
I could
yes.
quite easily be myself in such a situation.
I think so.
I only asked if she knew our fathers. She might... I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be a... I don't know.
Well, I could honestly contact her and discuss giving a donation to help fund her work.
Yes. Well, I imagine we can probably find her at the prison today anyway.
So, we are ignoring the hat for now and attempting a route in through Miss Fry.
I still think we should give the hat as backup.
I feel
If we're going in the day and
We
in the
could
evening.
bring it with us. It would not hurt.
if it takes so long to get used to it, and perhaps we should just have every avenue open. We're also giving her the tincture, I believe.
I still think one of us should go as a guard.
Does make the most sense, but
The guards would all know each other, so you'd have to have some intimate knowledge, at least, of names, etc.
Couldn't we... What did you call him? The person who's in charge?
Keeper.
The keeper. If we've spoken to him, and he's the highest up, everybody will listen to him, right?
Yes.
So if we incapacitate him after we speak to him, somebody could look like him, and nobody would question him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, if you could pull it off.
Well,
Yes.
this is to be a man, so you are probably to be the closest in stature to him.
What if you
Maybe he's a really short man.
have a drink and there's something in the drink?
Of course, I could just hold him.
Or that?
Yours is probably a smarter plan.
Perhaps part of the bribery is us delivering him a bottle of scotch.
Yes.
Do we have any idea how tall he might be?
I've never met the fellow, so I have no idea.
You haven't got a description of him in all of your informational findings?
Well, it's not been top of my list of information to gather, but I can certainly inquire.
All right.
If you could find out more than an hour before we have to get there.
Yes, of course. You don't need an hour to think about him.
Right, but
Spell is just...
But whichever
Yes, I
one of us
understand.
is closest to his height would have to
spend
hold
an
the
hour
hat.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. That's just a risk you can run.
Yeah, but
You can take the risk.
I don't think these girls are going to do that, are they? Well, that sounds like a much better plan.
So, the plan is what exactly?
The plan is we get an audience with the keeper and we speak to him and we find out how he talks and what he's like and we see how tall he is.
And whether he would be open to a bribe.
Yes, and
If it's not,
if he's not, he has a drink and we find some way of stopping him from interrupting and somebody becomes him. And we simply walk out with her.
Well, at least that is only a backup plan in that scenario. The best bet is that he simply takes the bribe.
Yes, we're going to need some disguises if that's the case.
And you have those?
I have things.
What type of disguise were you considering?
I have a number of fake beards that I'm quite proud of, made with...
I meant for us.
Oh, right. Have a number of fake beards that I'm quite proud of. I don't really know, I'm afraid.
Perhaps you could wear a fake beard.
But I suppose with the hat you can already disguise yourself, so that would...
Works for one of us.
For one of you, yeah, so we just need disguises for...
Well, if you
seem-
were posing as a man and one of us had the hat, that only requires a disguise for one.
Well, two of us.
Yes.
And Jonathan.
And Jonathan.
This is getting quite a number of people to walk in. Maybe only a few of us should go in. It depends on how we plan on keeping him quiet.
Yes, if we are to incapacitate him, then you would be needed.
At the very least, I can force him to drink something. You could persuade him into drinking something. I'm sure he would accept a drink from you.
Perhaps he would like a drink from a very beautiful woman.
Did I not just say that?
Do you at least possess cosmetics we could use to change our complexions? And a few wigs, perhaps.
Yes, I have some. I have wax. I have what I believe you ladies call foundation.
They absolutely do not.
They did not.
What do they call it then?
They had
Powder.
Yeah, they had powder.
Yeah,
They didn't have
powder.
cosmetic.
Whatever. Sure, I have some powders. I have wax to
I
change the shape.
also
of the
have
nose and-
some things, but I doubt they will be of much drastic change.
Well, if we are, even if you only have rather shorter wigs, if we were wearing bonnets, which we would need to be when out of doors anyway, that would be quite well covered.
You two could go and visit her while we speak to the keeper, and then you two can make a big ruckus about her being shipped off somewhere. And then nobody will think that we're just sort of taking her quietly away. Unless that draws attention.
But if it does, you could perhaps draw the attention away from her and her cell. Perhaps cause more of a fuss about the conditions and the injustice for everybody.
I believe we could do such a thing.
And if Mrs. Fry is to be around or involved, I'm sure she would... Well, I don't know, perhaps that she could be involved too.
When I was there previously, there were also a great number of children, including infants, there, so any loud noise would start the children crying, which would
Cover the noise at least.
cover noises. Obviously that is
Not
exactly, not ideal, but those children's situation is not ideal at all. Their mothers are arrested, they have no one to leave them with, and
A bit of noise is the least of their worries, surely.
yes, considering many of them get transported with their parents. But yes, I believe if we speak with the Maestra,
We should not go in as one group if
No.
they're going to make a fuss.
We could perhaps go in sometime apart.
You should go in first so that you're already with her, so that when we come
Yes.
to get
you should
her.
have deniability, especially if you have visited her in the past before.
which I have done, yes.
All right.
All right.
All right?
Very well. Sister, why don't you come with me to visit Mrs. Elizabeth Fry?
All right.
We'll do a little information gathering.
Wait here until you are done.
Well, I mean, if we're going halfway across town anyway, we should all just simply go. We can hang out at the inn, the Black Dog.
So we ought to get ready then.
Yes.
When's Jonathan getting back?
We'll just leave it up.
What if we just go without him?
Yeah, to be honest, we don't need
I think
him.
we need this because he's bringing like the food and clothes we're going to be handing out
Oh,
to the prisoners.
He's also arranging the boat and the carriage.
Oh
yeah.
the most
The
important
actual-
bit.
We
The
got her
actual
out!
escape. So I'm presuming then Albert's gonna get his disguise kits. And I will also just contribute the random amount of cloth and clothes and
Yeah.
random crap that Rosalind has.
Yeah, who's got training in a disguise kits? Just Albert.
Just Albert, I think.
Cool.
As far as I'm
I
aware.
don't think
Absolutely not.
unless I've magically got new stuff.
But I also think, with 4 women at the table, no, not the table, 4 women
In the
there, he gets help with his makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone's an expert in makeup.
Yeah.
This,
I mean, well. So you're trying to make me look like a man?
cool, yeah. Which colour beard do you want?
Ginger.
And he's like, which colour beard do you want?
Dyes his beard.
Like, a bunch. Sure. Yeah. Okay. So. Natural 20.
Wow!
Man.
Yes, you are a beautifully ginger-haired man.
Thomas Brigham.
Beard is mwah.
Does she look a bit like Gilbert?
Sure. You take a look in the mirror.
Sorry.
You put on a couple of.
I'm just making
There's obviously you've been working around the mirrors, and as he turns you around, and you've got on these little round glasses that he's put on, and you see your dad. Your dad doesn't have a beard, but you see.
I'm sorry.
Fuck you so
Sorry! I didn't think, I just spoke.
Not too much like...
Smudge the makeup with the tip.
Not too much like Gilbert that people are going to think that I'm Gilbert.
No, Gilbert doesn't have a beard.
If you know Gilbert well, you could see
Yeah.
The
something.
resemblance.
Who's next?
One of these two.
Aya.
A generic disguise.
Different woman.
For the
than
waif,
you.
yes. 18 for you.
Oh, you don't look like yourself.
So you can write that down.
Yeah. Does he have any pluses?
Yes.
Oh, it was 18. I want to know what my
18
total
was the total.
What do I look like now?
Whatever you want.
You've got a different
like,
hair
a dark
colour.
look like Talia.
No, you don't, bitch!
Like the hair colour is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because that's the instant.
Have
So
like
you've got
dark hair.
But you could have your nose could be altered with some wax or whatever, you know.
Okay.
How much would Marianne really need a disguise? Because
I think she does it.
I mean, because she's already visited the
she's
Maestra.
sort of playing herself.
Yeah.
So I think she doesn't need one.
And you're gonna hat it.
Well, we're finding out how tall
Yeah,
the
well, so
person
we don't know who's hatting it yet.
Okay.
It will be Albert, Talia, or Rosalind. So for now,
So
I'm
you
just trying to look
should
not
both
like
you should
me.
both have disguises anyway.
Yeah.
For you, it's a 9.
Total
Yeah, total.
with advantage.
Yeah,
So I just look like Rosalind in a wig.
sure.
It's pink.
It's not pink.
And for Albert, 17. So not too bad for him. I'll write that one.
Sucks for me that I'm the one person who's been out and about in London society.
Yeah, you're going to be wearing the hat though, so it's fine.
Unless
It doesn't
at all.
Regardless, you're going to be the one wearing the hat. We can all see that your disguises are the worst.
Rosalind, I do also have something that would be of assistance to you.
Oh.
And I pass over a fabric hand warmer muff.
Oh.
Because I do not believe there is any shame in your injury, but all marks of anything remotely out of the norm draw attention.
Yes. Very wise.
Thank you.
And perhaps you will feel more confident in stepping out in public.
Yes. Well, it's... yes, yes, thank you.
Well, let's be about ourselves, shall we? Tally ho, toodle pip.
So is
whatnot.
Jonathan back now? Because we are waiting
Sure.
for Jonathan to
Sure.
leave.
Jonathan's back.
I mean, this would have taken a lot of time to do.
Probably at some point I turned to Thomas being like, how do I look? It's fucking all wax on my nose.
Yeah, I barely recognise you.
Slow. Agatha does not say so.
Imagine if she did.
Have we disguised Jonathan?
Jonathan
No, he's
needs
staying
to
on the. He's staying lookout because he's not actually useful in this new plan.
Yeah, he doesn't actually have another
He is
role.
coming back and we're just saying, okay, so that plan
This
you
is
came
the
up with,
plan
we're not
now.
doing that.
Well, I say I've been thoroughly outvoted. I'm just happy to see that the hat is remaining in our power. That's all I care about. That's the subtext.
Quite a priority to have.
Very well. Yes, here was a ticket. Brighton to New Haven. Newport. Whatever, it's a place in France. It'll take her there.
Thank you.
And,
Do you mean Normandy?
no. Normandy is not a port.
Oh, is it not? Oh.
No, it's an entire coastal region.
Oh.
Probably millions of square miles. I don't know how big countries are. I don't care.
What if we all wore wigs in the next episode?
I'm the only one who has a wig. That's not true.
You know you want to do it.
Yeah.
Do you wear wigs? Will you wear wigs?
When will you wear wigs?
You are a beautiful man. A beautiful
Okay,
man.
anyway, moving on.
I was holding that in for so long ago.
When will you?
So, yes, and then I've arranged for the horse and carriage at the Oxford Inn, Oxford Arms. Don't go to the Oxford Inn, that's a completely different place and we'll be in quite a lot of trouble if we go there. Oxford Arms. Yes, Oh, you'll never believe who I ran into, he says to Albert. Mrs. Elizabeth Fry, you remember her, don't you? Formidable woman, very interesting. Married, 4, 5, 6 children, I believe. They both have the same voice, which is very good. Yes, I was actually just telling the girls about her. What an interesting woman she is. Oh, she really is. Yes, quite marvelous. She's teaching today at the prison. She's.
Oh, useful. Talia doesn't say that.
Do you know if she did?
Yes. I bumped into her and.
She didn't happen to mention how tall the keeper might be.
Well, no, they didn't come up. We were discussing.
I don't know. She might have made fun of him for being short.
No, I mean, if you're interested in how tall the keeper is, the man's probably, I don't know, 5'8", 5'9".
Goodness.
Why?
Well, we have told you the plan.
You've already told me the plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is only the backup if he does not accept the bribe.
But
What
that
if-
is also quite manageable. If you were to wear heeled shoes,
That don't make sound when you walk.
Are those hers? Or are they yours? Who had the magic shoes that don't make sound?
Agatha has magic shoes that are just magic.
Yeah.
My shoes never get dirty.
Maybe I'm just right. Sure, that's it then.
I mean, what I actually said is they also never leave a track. No, I didn't. We decided that afterwards. Ignore me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can just cover the bottom in some sort of fabric.
The bottom of what?
The shoes.
Right.
The heel. The bit that makes the noise.
I mean, men's shoes make noise too. They're all basically the same.
We should simply figure it out at the time. I think if I am to be disguised as him, anyway, I will look like him. I will just need to remember to be careful of the illusion.
Yes, all we were saying was if you already have the added height, then it's one less thing to worry about.
Right.
Well, I say we just jolly well get on with it.
Come on then.
Feel like we've been planning all day. Yes. Okay. Very well. Things are in motion anyway, and no plan survives its first, whatever it is they say, with the enemy and whatnot.
Who's bringing the money?
I presumed it would be me.
Makes sense.
It would be untoward for ladies to be offering bribes, of course.
I'm not a lady, remember. I'm
Yes.
some gentleman.
Yes, you are. It really is quite a remarkable job that Albert's done with you there. You look just like your father. Well, anyway.
I'm going to step on his foot as I walk.
We also grabbed the nicest bottle of scotch that we have.
Very well. That was my favourite.
Buy more.
Yeah, I suppose there are a lot less mouths to feed and a lot more money.
Start walking.
Yeah, I guess, yes.
Well, we need to put something into the...
Scotch. Yeah, we're bringing that with us as well.
Okay.
Agatha's grabbing the laudanum.
Yeah.
Freak the fuck out.
No, I don't know where it is. Albert hid it.
I mean, you'd want to do that beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't do it, just like, yeah, would you like a drink?
You know,
you
I'm
go.
saying that we need to put
It
something
might when
in
I
the
say
drink.
get
Sure.
the bottle that
Yeah,
has been.
that's all done.
Yeah,
Okay.
I assumed that was already done.
All right, okay.
Okay, you say your goodbyes to Lucas and Oliver, you head upstairs, out into the big bad world. It's 3 p.m.
I've got my cane with me.
You've got your cane, someone's hidden an extra sword.
I have a rapier and a short sword under my skirts.
I've got...
Skirts, we know that that's doable with many women at this table have kept skirts up their swords up their skirts.
You've got your gun
got
hidden
my gun.
somewhere. Let's hope they don't check our bag.
I've
You
got-
it.
Yeah.
Nothing. I've got a shit blonde wig on that does no change to my appearance.
Is it very obvious that she is wearing a wig?
I don't think.
gonna depend.
In my head,
Nine.
it's not the wig's obvious. It's just my face looks exactly the same. Like my face and body are unchanged.
Just because if it looks like she's obviously wearing a wig, I would have pointed that out and been like, that's dumb. Take it off.
I mean...
But then again, it was a 9. It wasn't like a 1. Do you know what I mean?
Almost,
like I look slightly...
50.
I think I just look like Rosalind has dyed her hair.
Sure.
It's like I don't think I look...
Yeah, and if you're wearing a hat over it, it's not...
Yeah, like she'll have a bonnet on.
Let's go.
Alright.
Cool. What a fucking episode. Tune in next week for them actually doing something.
I mean, we told you from the get-go that it wasn't happening until episode.
Some